Okay, so Amazon Basic, I'm going to scream that a lot because that keyword brings a ton of views. These are the Amazon Basic self-powered monitors. And they're currently on Amazon for like 100 and that's the wrong one. $153.12. Very specific, $153.12. And if you get it with a cable, apparently, which cable are they talking about? What? Why would you get that cable? I don't understand. Well, for $165, you can get it with a spool of cable. I mean, just connect the two speakers together would be one reason to get that. But they're $153. I bought these because they were $50. And I'm like, shit, $50 for an Amazon Basics review of a speaker? I'm Zeos. This is what I do. I do speaker reviews. So picked it up, unboxed it, put them over there, neglected them for 3 months. Because I'm just like, what if they suck? What if they're great? The price changed. I wanted them to be $50 forever, but that isn't how life works. So finally today, it's time to do their review. And I'm just shuffling around now. Why is it always the Beatles and Pink Floyd? Is it because I have so many Beatles and so many Pink Floyd? Oh, God. The first thing that came on was Neon Demon. I'm sitting here and I've got them up on stands, and these are not SoundBar stands. These are actually Kanto stands, which are a little bit shorter and more angled. And they're just sitting there doing their thing. Now, these are already an angled speaker. I'll pull them off of one of the stands, actually. We'll pull this one off the stand because it's the easier one. Come here. Not very heavy, but you can see it's just, this is a basic speaker wire going to that. That's the powered unit. We'll look at that one. Ported. It looks like they took a set of swans and said, shit, we put the thing on backwards because swans have this exact same shape. Those are the M300 Mark IIs. But, you know, it tilts forward, like this tilts forward, and then the wood tilts forward. So they're just like, I don't know, make it backwards, it'll look different. This way it doesn't look like a complete copy of a swan. But like the fascia and everything is pretty damn close. Like we got the mesh screen. If I pull this off, if I'm even capable of pulling it off, because it is very on there. Look at the size of those pegs. You can see it's just a very, it doesn't actually stop dust from getting on the speaker, but it should stop little pokey fingers or make your cat really excited. So we're just gonna leave those on there because if that's affecting the sound, I don't think it is. Soft dome and a 5-inch. I'm pretty sure it's not a 5 1/4. If it's a 5 1/4, it's 5 1/4, but it might be it's probably a 5 1/4. And here are the stands, by the way, because I'm going to link these because I don't get to use speaker stands enough on this channel. See, it says Kanto. See how they're like a slightly different shape? They're very heavy, by the way. And these come with a full silicone bottom and a mount hole in case you want to screw some Kantos in, a silicone top and a silicone back. So you put that where we have to put it, and it just sort of stays there. It feels like it's cast iron, honestly. Go back. Hope we're not crushing anything. And so they're sitting here. Here's the remote. The remote has, just like the Amazon Basics amplifier, the remote has English and French. So reset has Orientalisation, and Treb have Augus, because you could adjust the treble. The reset, you could do bass, which apparently bass in French is bass with an ES at the end of it. So basses. And then you have the standard complement of volume up, volume down, next track, last track, play, pause, connect to Bluetooth, input, select, power. There are only 2 inputs on this speaker. A 3.5mm auxiliary cable, which it comes with, and a fiber optic input, which is what I'm always going to prefer because, well, I can't say that in this. I'm not sure if they're DSP correcting this, but I'm sure there's some sort of amplification going on because this is a completely separate unit running just with a wire. So they're not controlling individual drivers. I mean, I got them for $50. They might be $150 right now, but I got them for $50, which means I could sell them for $50. So what I'm detecting is the DAC input of it is decent enough. I'm sure it's not a spectacular. It's not the equivalent of a $100 DAC. It's just not. But I'm running it off fiber optic anyway. The remote control obviously only does next track, last track, play, pause. When you have it hooked up Bluetooth, I could program my FLIRC. If you've never seen my FLIRC, it's how I could use my TV's remote to play and pause music. And next track. So I will link to the FLIRC, which lets you use any infrared remote to control a computer. It's a fantastic thing for like 20 bucks. And that's it. There's no bass and treble controls on the speaker. You have to use a remote. I've actually determined that when you're sitting this close, because I got them, and I'm like, am I going to put them up in the big stands, like where the Swans are, and try to do a room with them? Because they would legitimately work as a soundbar replacement. If you're watching this video, you've never been to Z Reviews. Hi, I do a lot of weird stuff, but giggity. But weird, no, not but stuff. Stop putting words into my mouth. Don't put lots of things into my mouth. But weird, but this would work as a soundbar because it's a very basic power plug to the wall, fiber optic in from your TV, remote control. Now you have a soundbar. Because that's all soundbars really are. There's a lot of new futuristic ones that are like Atmos with the wireless subwoofers and bounce, and it's like, don't bother. Don't bother. $150, get you a decent set of speakers. That's all you need. And if I back up, because obviously my chair has wheels, and I hit play, and I change to another track, that is loud enough and not garbage. Like, I was kind of worried these were just going to be a big steaming pile of whatever the fuck Amazon could find in a warehouse in China. They don't even have their logo on it, honestly. The front has no labeling at all. Like the Swans here say Swan. This says nothing, unless it's on the very bottom, which I didn't actually look. Excuse me. We're going to sound demo these afterwards, but not now. The back has the control panel, and then back here is a sticker that says Amazon Basics. That's it. That's the only branding. Oh wait, there's branding on the amp. It's in black on black. So you get to change your volume and source, you get to put it on standby, here's your auxiliary in, here's your fiber optic in, there's your power, and here's your speaker lead to the other side. You know what I actually didn't check? We could do that now. I don't know if I have them wired correctly, because that just says in and that just says out. That doesn't say right channel in and that doesn't say right channel out. I just guessed. And since I'm going fiber optic, it's going to be whatever it is. So we're going to take bets on this. Everyone watching at home, it's going to say left and then right. And it's either going to be correct or I'm going to have to do a thing. So that said left. So in the future, when you go and buy one of these, you're going to want to figure out which side is the left side. The left side is the non-powered side. Now, because I'm coming off a fiber optic and I'm using FooBar, I can simply go into the DSP manager and say reverse stereo channels, hit OK, and now if I do this and this,
right, left, right.
Now it's correct. It's one of those little things that I wish they would just label it. Like, just label it. If you just labeled it, I wouldn't have this question. I wouldn't have to bring this up. I wouldn't have to look like a fool. Amazon make me look like a fool. But really, like, having your left and right reversed, yeah, you're going to want to fix that for when you're watching movies and shit goes flying off the screen that way and all of a sudden you hear it that way. It's like, Brad Pitt's walking towards the edge of the screen. Why is he going that way? That's when you'll notice it. They're not like Swan killers. They're not going to beat Edifier stuff. I'm probably going to link Edifier stuff alongside this. The 1700 BTs are roughly the same price, like 180. And I trust those to sound amazing, and they're a little bit smaller, more compact box. But I can't knock Amazon's choice for this. This is just me giving my approval. This is an approval video. Are the Amazon Basic speakers worth even looking at? Yes. Are they worth it for 150? I didn't buy them for 150. I bought them for 50. At 50, it's dumb not to just buy a pair on impulse. 75, worth the pair. 100. 100's right around the point where other powered speakers come in. So it's like, yeah, you can get the, what the hell, the ones that I recommended, the 5-inch in the front port that have power, like the Mica PB. Yeah, $100 is like where every powered speaker should start. The fact that these were 50 was a fluke. I think it was a Prime Day fluke back in July. Put it back on shuffle. And now, the way I have it set up, I'll reset it. There. I've just reset it. A little bit of treble down. Take the treble down 2 notches. 1, 2 blinks. And put the treble up, with the bass up 1. So treble down 2, bass up 1. That's where I like them. That's where I like them for my music, for where I'm sitting, for the space I'm in. That's a personal preference thing, but it's also a room thing. If these speakers were 6 feet further back, the treble might have to stay where it is, or go up to try to carry it further in distance. And then there's how much bassy stuff you're watching. If you're watching soap operas and people are talking all the time, you don't want the whole cabinet rattling because, you know, someone's speaking, because Matlock is talking. Right? So you want to sort of like tune it. That's what these are for. That's why they're on the remote, so you could tune it from a distance. The only problem is when you're going up and down in the treble or up and down the bass, there's no way to see. Like some units, when you click down, it blinks once, and then it stops blinking. We can't go anymore. Some units, when you go back up, will do a double blink to say we're at 0 now. There's no added treble and no removed treble. This does not do that. This blinks once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. That blinked 8 times and stopped blinking. So unless you want to go to the end and then count back, you're better off just hitting a reset, which doesn't indicate at all when it happens. You could hear it reset, but it doesn't indicate. And then you got to set your settings again. So I want to go bass up 1, treble down 2, and then continue listening to basement jacks. Does that also reset the volume? It does. Son of a bitch. I was wondering why the hell it was changing. So apparently reset doesn't just reset treble and bass. It resets volume too. So there's no mute on these speakers. There's just power off, which turns the green LED to red. It's like Christmas. When you turn it on, it takes a second. So don't, like, give it a patient second before you go bouncing at it. I guess I would consider the reset button like a panic, it's too loud, or oh my god, mute. Because mute, it basically gets, like, that's quiet enough to be like, all right, it's basically muted, a phone rang. So now I'm going to go back, treble down 2, bass up 2, just to try that. And then I got to bring the volume up, and we can just let it blink until it doesn't blink. Volume's at maximum. Well, let's take it down 2 or 3. 4, 5, take it down 5. Maybe 6, take it down 6. These things get loud. Didn't expect them to get loud, considering, you know, that I got them for $50, but they actually do. I think Amazon might have been trying to sell them for rooms and not desks. I've got them on a desk because why the fuck not? Nine down. Go up to the mat. 9 down from the top. Like Man of Steel. All right. Hans Zimmer doing his thing. I can't play too much. It's going to get me blocked. And I hate losing monetization on every other video. It's getting annoying now, YouTube. Perfect. This is some audiophile bullshit. This is Chris Potter. It's got a horn. The horn is coming right here. Not here, not here. It's doing imaging properly. I feel like there's like, it's not that hard to make a good product as long as you are willing to beat the crap out of your engineers when they screw up. Because it's not even about money. The tweeters here probably cost 15 to 45 cents to get each one of these tweeters. That's legit China money. And then the drivers themselves, maybe a few bucks for $5. The box you're churning out for nothing. This is all just, it actually is probably stiffening the box because it's nice. it's a print. It's not an actual like thing. Like that's actual wood on the Swans, because those are $1,000 now. But this is just nice enough. It's nice enough. It's nice enough. It's strengthened in the box. It looks good. It could have just been a black box. I might even like it more if it was just a slanted black box. But it looks good enough. And it sounds perfectly acceptable. Are they RB42 beaters? No. Do they? Let's see. What are the other cheap speakers? Yamaha S803s. No. Those are both better speakers, but those are passive speakers. You need an amp and a DAC, and they don't have a remote, so you need to get an amp or DAC with a remote. So there's a bunch of things you have to do to make that speaker work, and those speakers start at the price of these. So you're getting whole speakers and amps and DACs and remotes for that price. I can't argue with it for $150, but there's competition at $150. At $100, these would be the pick, hands down, and at $50, it's dumb not to own them. Thank you, Chris Potter. My only concern is on really loud stuff where it's like a real ringing like that. If I hear something rattling, I can't quite say, yes, something's rattling. Because I also haven't broken these in for like the 50 hours that I would usually recommend for speakers. Just run them. Just play music all day. I'm not using these for speakers for using music all day. This is a perfectly acceptable AC/DC. If you're buying speakers for your kid's room, these are fine. I would recommend not buying them unless they're under $120. If they're over $120, there's edifiers. When Swan finally makes it back to Amazon in February of 2022, there's Swan. There's other speakers you can get. Oh, you know what? Oh, this is one of those tables with the rattly things. I wonder if I'm hearing those. That's not very audiophile of me, because I usually use this desk for yard sale stuff, which is coming up the 1st or 10th of every month. So I don't really mount speakers to it. So I might be hearing the rattle of the desk itself because they're throwing so much low end. That's interesting. Yeah, no, I think of all the weird speakers that I've gotten for super cheap, these are probably some of the best. They sound better than those big. Do you remember those big setups you used to get in like the late 90s? We were just like the stack with the 3-disc changer and the 2 cassettes, and then they had like a tuner with all the VU meters and the big shitty box speakers. These sound better than those by a mile. By a country mile, these sound better than any of those ever sounded. You know why? Because my family had those. Every part of my family had those. Every cousin, every uncle, everyone who was old enough to like be cool was like, oh, I got a cool stereo. And they never sounded good. These sound better than those. So that's where technology has taken us. Now all we need is a stack of crap in the middle with dancing VUs like a car stereo, and we'd be good to go. So do I approve of these? Yes. Do I approve of them at $153? That's all I'm going to give them. I'm going to give them an eh. They got Rhea Scremery as the wallpaper. She's a cheap waifu. That it's real easy to be like that Rhea Scremery. She's a default. If you just don't know anything about anime, the titties. There you go. So links to these, links to a couple competition pieces in the description. I'm not married to these. Link to the sound demo, which I'm about to record. I'll give them another hour or so listening, and then I'm going to put the microphones on them, and then there's a whole separate channel. If you want to hear what these speakers sound like, then you can compare them against other speakers I have to sound demo, like those $1,800 triangle towers, because that's a good competition. So if you want to check that out, that's the other channel. You could sub to that if you want. Also, the review series is going on there. If you like these sorts of videos and want to support the channel, Patreon and Subscribestar keep the lights on and heated. So if you want to see reviews early, up to a week or more, join my Patreon or Subscribestar. If you'd like to participate in yard sales, I might sell these since I got them for $50 and they're now $150. If I put them in the yard sale, shit, did I burn that box? Make sure I didn't burn the box. But if I put them in the yard sale, if you live outside the US or Canada, it's half shipping. So anybody who wants Amazon Basic speakers in Sweden, I'll ship them to you. Just got to pay half the shipping. If you live in USA or Canada, I ship to you for free. Maybe big packages may not ship free to Canada. I'm not sure. If you want to hear the sound demo losslessly for $5, you also get into the Sound Demo Oasis, where you can get access to my old sound demos. I got yanked off of YouTube because lawyers, and all modern sound demos. You just get the FLAC pre-re-encode audio, so you can actually listen to them. And then for $10 a month, you can get into my behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat, where you could ask me any questions you like about your room, about your TV, about your setup, about your son's gift, and I'll answer you on my phone, because that's how it's just, I don't answer questions almost anywhere else. It's just in the $10 chat. People who are posting on my Patreon, I'm so sorry. I know you're paying to be there, but you're paying for those first 3 things. You want to ask me questions and get answered, it's got to be in the chat. I can't. I don't have the time and the mental fortitude for it. But thank you for being a patron anyway. Hi-Fi Guides and the Hi-Fi Guides forum also exist. Oh, also with the $10 chat where you ask me questions, you also get into a private swap meet for anyone who's ever been a $10 patron for life. You got a lifetime swap meet entrance. So yeah, there's that. That wallpaper, in case you want to set Rios Grammar as your wallpaper, is available in the description. Links to these, links to all those other things, links to my social media. And happy Christmas and Merry New Year. Right? Good? Great. I'll see you all in 2 days for another review.